I've killed my mic at my bed.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Greetings, everyone. This is the Sound Health Options Show for October 13th, 2013, with Richard Olson and
Sherry Woodward. Oh,
good morning, Sherry. How are you?
Good morning. I was trying to show before our little pre-show thing that we do, all of the truckers, and they're off the air right now. There is a march on Washington that the news is saying is only a couple dozen people, and they were live broadcasting, so they were walking around, and that has gone off the air. I'm hoping it doesn't come back on the air as we are broadcasting. I will have to scramble. Maybe I should just shut it in. I'm going to shut it in so that it doesn't come back on the air. But there are over 100,000 people that have tuned in to watch this, and it's just wall-to-wall people as far as the eye can see. Somebody had a stepladder they got up and were trying to broadcast with thousands and thousands of people there. And snipers. I think there's this large discrepancy that I don't like from our news media saying there's only a dozen people there to actually seeing somebody walk around and showing thousands and thousands of people, of persons there. Yes. So this is Sound Health Options. We're sponsored by the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. So we do vocal profiling and look at people's voices for personality traits and also for nutrition, medical, genetic information. So we are going to be brought to you today by one of our softwares, WeVoice, that we developed to help people who had stroke and couldn't speak. And we've done many of those in helping those people speak again. You'll see how that connects to our very special guest that we will be having very shortly. But for those of you who are interested in what we do, I'm going to go to our Sound Health Options main page and look at radio. You can see that our guest is Elizabeth Folkman. She is from Denmark, coming to us at the supper hour in Denmark by Skype. And she's going to talk about what your voice is telling you. She's written a book, The Power of the Voice, Know Yourself. We're going to invite questions from our audience from Blog Talk 347-850-1407. When they get in there, Richard, what do they do? We'll let you know they have a question.
When they dial in, actually the voice prompt will ask them to press 1 to get into the queue, and then they'll pop up on my dashboard that I'm engineering. And they can also, if you're logged on to blogtalkradio.com/Sherry-Edwards, you can also type in the chat there as well.
So for the participants that are live on WebEx watching the show, you go down to the lower right-hand corner of the participants list, and you can raise your hand if you want to speak live, or just type in your question, and we will get it to our guests. Our objective here on this show, Sound Involvement, is to share information in support of freedom, integrity, and the authentic life, the authentic self. We want to concentrate on self-help self-responsibility, support for humanity. We want to put health back into healthcare. And we have 17 healthcare programs that we're giving away to the public because we believe that we think health should be in your hands. So if you'd like to look at those software programs, you can go to our site on download. Nano Voice is there. That's free for people. It's a personality profiler of the voice. Gives you 2 to 3 paragraphs about you, the person. Our bonus software for this month is Radical Factors that pairs with our radiation exposure software. Everything is there for you. A textbook, a 2-hour class, the software that you need, all the charts that you need. If you're having trouble with any of that, give us a call at our world headquarters in Ohio, Sound Health, 740-698-9119. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. Richard, do you have any announcements?
I don't think so. I could get on a soapbox at the drop of a hat regarding the ridiculousness of the shutdown and the impact of the shutdown of the government, but it's going to end badly. I think that's my announcement. It's going to end badly if these fill in the blank.
Did you hear one of the congressmen say, absolutely he's going to take his paycheck. He's going to do without his paycheck. But there's thousands of people out there furloughed with no paycheck, but yet the Congress people who have started this mess, both houses, I should say started and not finished, they're having trouble. I think it's wonderful what the Republicans are doing and passing bills. I think it's horrible that they don't have any foundation to stand on. They're just being washed away. I think it's horrible of the Senate that they won't pass on any of these and they won't open these monuments. And that's what those troopers are about. I have a couple of announcements. We did a wonderful show on the deliberate vaccine abuse with Alan Phillips on his show about You Have a Right to Know. We discussed the high probability that vaccine injury is caused by a lack of proper testing and control over mandated vaccines. We discussed polio and how the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, used tainted polio vaccinations, even though they knew they were tainted. We talked about Gardasil and how that's been used as an infertility project, and about the bird and swine flu being man-made. There's a lot of scoops in that. So if you want to know more, we put it on our site under media that we're going to be there. We want to talk to you a little bit about our gardening program. There's well over 100 people in that gardening program now that meet once a month and they discuss the software. And we give them the software for them to use for a year, and they have a little textbook that goes with it. The next one we're doing is BioDiet, because we have discovered some new information about diet that deals with a fatty liver, inflammation, and also a lot more into the adrenal side of weight control that the media and the doctors just aren't releasing to us. So if you want more about that, just our site, soundhealthoptions.com. It'll come right up. Richard, do you want information about the keynote? You always ask them about the keynote.
I always love the keynote for people that are first-time listeners. The keynote is an amazing thing. It's a frequency or a note that's generated by the cosmos that's monitored by all sorts of people, from, oddly enough, AT&T to, I'm certain, our friends. You know, pick a government acronym, and I'm certain they're all monitoring it. We're trying to figure out how they can use it. That's my personal comment. But yes, I'd love to know what the keynote for today is.
Well, it's still that note of F. I'm going to see if I can bring it up so people can watch it. And they always put a little, what do you call it, a quiz or optical illusion in here for people. So the keynote for today, October 13th, and this takes care of 3 days in advance and 3 days behind us now. The biggest thing that keeps coming up, and was just beginning to come in last week when we talked about this, was a toxin and also a food additive. It's very high, very activated today. It's MSG, monosodium glutamate. It's in steak sauces, salad dressing, meat tenderizers with a flavor enhancer. And I named this Flavor versus Health as we look into it. It's in packaged foods from the Hamburger Helper, Lipton's onion soup, espresso, Campbell's soup, bacon bits, snacks, Cheez-Its, Blended peanuts, Doritos, Pringles, and in Chinese restaurants, they utilize MSG to such an extent that there's actually a disease syndrome called the Chinese restaurant syndrome. So if you're susceptible to this, you may start to feel symptoms immediately, or sometimes it takes up to 3 to 4 hours. Reactions can be slight to severe, from burning feelings in the chest, arms, and face. Oh, you don't have to scramble and write this. I hear people doing that. This is all posted for you on our site, Sound Health Options, and it's under More. It's the last little button on the right, and it's under Keynote. Heart palpitations, fatigue, numbness, sweating, nausea. I read some articles about this, trying to find out how we could help it, and it said taking B vitamins while you're eating any of these foods that have MSG, particularly B6, can help eliminate some of the symptoms, and it's very associated with joint and connective disorders such as carpal tunnel. Pathogen and stress in the next few days is one of the Lyme disease variety strains. So if you start to show symptoms again with a red bullseye or upset stomach, let us know. Remember that NAC, which are the favorite nutrients, really helps with that Borrelia that has drilled into the stomach. Muscles include the tailbone area and slightly above, plus the gastroc, that calf muscle in the lower leg. Secondary muscles coming into stress, like on Tuesday, just beginning, is the rectus inferior looking down. You should not be able to feel your eyeballs move around in this head. But when there's stress, you can't. So you'll know if that's part of your issue by looking down, and you'll be able to feel the stress in your eye. The other is the thumb. Insulin becomes vulnerable on Monday, along with zithromax, an antibiotic, which is called a Z-factor, which is nearly the same frequency as insulin. Vasopressin, a biochemical that helps regulate blood pressure and blood sugar, plays a part in frequency balances over the next 2 days. We hope all of you love this, and if this influences you, and Richard always talks about that, please let us know. Please share your experiences with us.
And I might have to add to that, not only, and Sherry mentioned NAC would be fabulous because that's so great to help deliver processed toxins, but also I've seen people have positive response by a simple addition of one of the dissolved in water kind of vitamin C's, like Energen C or the Olaloa vitamin C's or any of those vitamin C's that are dissolved in water. And I say they're dissolved in water because it assimilates into the mucosa, and one of the reactions with MSG on any level is usually an inflammatory response. So I think the vitamin C getting into the body is really very assistive as well, and particularly in a liquid form, because it assimilates so rapidly that way.
People are complaining here on WebEx that people's voices are coming in muffled. That likely is because we have our guest on Skype, and there's a little bit of humming in the background there. But if you would like to have a better audio, go to Blog Talk. The audio is always good there. 347-850-1407. And they can also use that to call in and ask our guests questions. Richard, would you introduce our guest?
I certainly would. I would love to. A deep passion and long-lasting interest for the human voice in more psychological aspects has driven Elizabeth Holtman to challenge, seek, and investigate the human voice pattern, the energy pattern, and discovered an agreement between voice, feeling, thoughts, and behavior. Elizabeth has created a new voice method and written about her work in her new book, The Power of the Voice. Elizabeth's aim is to demonstrate that by working creatively with your voice, you can dissolve physical as well as psychological blocks and issues, which will stimulate learning processes and personal growth. In Denmark, she has taught numerous seminars for teachers, medical doctors, psychologists, psychotherapists, and nurses. Good evening, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Did we lose her?
I hope not.
Elizabeth, are you there?
Still on your Skype?
It looks like she is. I could hang up and call again.
She looks like she's here. Maybe she muted herself and didn't. Elizabeth, are you there?
I heard one word and then it was shut off
I
again.
did too.
Elizabeth, should we call you back? That's where I think I'm going to end the call and call her right back.
Okay. I love live learning study. So yeah, back to the MSG. As Terry mentioned, I'm a big fan of NAC, N-acetylcysteine, as an antioxidant and as any kind of timing of any kind of toxic exposure. And it's kind of prophylactic. It's also an amazingly great mucolytic for people with any kind of bronchial condition. And
Elizabeth, are you here yet? Hello? She has answered, but there doesn't seem to be any microphone going on here.
I can hear you. I don't hear her on my side either. I hear a little buzz sound. I wonder if she's having a microphone issue.
More calling options. I'm calling her again. Elizabeth, are you there? It seems that there is a connection that is not going to work.
No, that's too bad. Let me see. Can you talk for a moment while I tap dance in the background?
Okay, you're going to see if you can get her on your Skype?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about. Lots of stuff going on here at Sound Health and looking at writing books. We do have some projects. If any of you are interested in helping us get those up and running, we need people to help us with the database. I think I just hate to not have any thing going on here. They have sent us some questions. They said think about these questions as we're going on. From her new book, they sent us the questions, what is your book about and how did you get the idea of writing it? Is your book for the common audience or for the professional readers? What do you hear in a voice? Can you hear if people are lying? Can you control your innermost emotions by changing your voice? Can you explain a bit about voice types? How can someone find out what their type is? Do you teach people to sing, change their voices? She has several stories in her book about different people that she has helped. And I found this particular passage very, very interesting. No two voices are the same. Your voice is like a fingerprint. It is your salient characteristic, your calling cards. There are a multitude of different voice types, both speaking voices and singing.
Okay.
Are you back, Richard?
Not yet. Almost.
There is a call on hold. It says call on hold on my side. What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I don't know how you put someone on hold.
Lizbeth,
be
are
right
you
back.
there? Oh, it looks like you and she are on a conference call.
Elizabeth, can you hear me here? I'm not hearing anything from you, Elizabeth.
This really was set up before we came on the air. To finish with what she's saying about the voice, there are a multitude of different voice types, both speaking voices and singing voices. But your voice,
I'm not hearing you at all.
by your voice you shall be known. Let me hear your voice, and I will tell you who you are. Your voice is both your singular feature and something that undergoes constant change. We use it differently depending on our mood and our state of mind, and depending on whether we're speaking to our partner,
I'm going to hang up here, Elizabeth, and see if that reconnects you to Sherry.
our child, our boy, our boss, or our mother. It did not reconnect me here, Richard. It says she's been on here.
She tried to call me, but I didn't see her.
Well, it says that
So
she's on my...
What happens if you click on that window where her voice is? Because it looks like she is on the phone with you, but she was on hold.
I don't know how to get her off hold. I put this up on share, but I don't know what to do about it. Anybody in our audience here know how to bring her in? Group call, no.
Not really a group call. I would hang up and call her right back. This is the excitement of live, everybody. So she's calling you or me?
I can't tell. Group call. I don't want a group call here.
I'll quit my Skype.
Can you guide me through this?
I think it looks like it's trying to connect with Elizabeth based on the window I'm looking at. And I just quit my Skype, so I shouldn't be in the connection. I'd hang up again and then start a new call with her because I'm gone. There's no call group. Nope. Odd. I don't know this window. I'm not even, I quit my Skype to get myself out of the loop. So go ahead and try and call her.
It says she's calling here.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. Richard, can you hear her?
That's very exciting. I can hear you. Yay, it's all about voice.
Oh, Fantastic.
We have it. We were reading a bit in your book about your voice as your calling card. We had a picture of your voice up here and a picture of your book. Richard was doing your very nice introduction and you disappeared. We don't know what was happening with that. Richard has muted himself, he says.
No, I'm back now.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about your book. The people who are watching this broadcast are looking at a picture of your book, The Power of the Voice. And I would just like to add to the question that you guys sent us. What is the power of the voice? Why did you write this book? I think she's disappeared again.
Now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Am I here? Or?
You are here.
Okay. Okay. The reason why I wrote this book is a long story, but I will do it short. It all came out because I was born into a family where we had, my parents were very interested in a Danish philosopher, so I grew up with a spiritual background. And this combination to my singing career, where I saw a lot of, more glorious and fantastic voices and saw all the outer stuff of the person. Those two combinations, I had a longing for seeing what was behind the person and what was more authentic. So I really wanted to see where is the truth about people. And if you don't, it's not for professional leadership. It's for everybody. It's the human voice that has interested me so much. And that was the short version why I found it so. I just had to write this book because also when I listen to people, I think we all have this ability that we are hearing beyond the words, so to speak. We are hearing a lot and we are picking up a lot of information of each other. And I thought it was very exciting to sometimes you had a feeling or sensation of this person saying something, and you had another message beyond that was saying sometimes the opposite, or sometimes it was like the noise at what the message was about. So you had to clear out what's going on here. And also that was, I think, a motivation for me to write this book.
Well, what is the power of the voice? What kind of power is there in the voice?
Oh, I think the whole power of the voice is there. You have the power to be who you are. When you signal something with your voice, you are signaling a lot, both conscious and unconsciously. So the more you are getting conscious about who you are and more integrated and more whole, so to speak, the more the power will come through to the people. And you can, of course, you can manipulate people with your voice, and you can do exactly the opposite. You can just fall off or just doing nothing. So you can do a lot of things with your voice.
Is it like learning a language? Does it just come naturally, or is this manipulation something very learned?
I think it's coming. I think that we all have this ability very deep down, and we hear to listen and hear and pick up what's going on. So in fact, we are receiving all these messages. I'm sure we are, and we can be better listening to them, and better to learn how to interpret the message you are receiving.
Give us an example of what you can hear, Richard. Or if you have a question, go ahead.
Yeah. You can, for example, hear a lot of emotions going on. Because as I see the voice is very closely connected to our emotions. And when you speak about a certain thing, it could be about the food we're going to have for dinner. You know, sometimes a kind of emotional level behind is coming through. Maybe it has nothing to do with the subject you are talking about, but it has to do with some story behind some story of your life. So you can hear a lot of emotions when they have not been cleared in your life, cleared up. They are sitting there still. For example, if you were a very angry child and you were not allowed to have anger in your family, so you suppressed it or you blocked the anger. It was not allowed to come out. And to my experience, you can hear that kind of layer in the voice. It's still there somehow. And we certainly pick it up. The surroundings, the family, the closest friends, they can hear, they know this kind of voice and know the person, you know, the emotions. They recognize them. Am I still on?
No, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I have difficulty in hearing you now. Okay.
Is that better, or am I far away?
Oh, now I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a question regarding. I want to go back because I think one of the things that a missing piece for our audience is that you were and are an opera singer. And in your book, you talk about the fact that at a very young age, around 2, I think it was, you were already singing and what I would call toning and making sounds before you really had words. And so you've always had vocalization in your life. Not only did you have a spiritual family, but you also had vocalization as part of your life. So you have that as an experience of how to express in an operatic manner. Can you talk about that a little more?
Yes, I can do that. You can say it was a gift for me to go into that professional learning about the voice so early. But it also came out in that way that I had to free myself from that learning later on. Because it was, I think it was in the way for my the more authentic part of me, who wanted the truth about the human voice. I wanted to go deeper into and sense the person behind. And I was not so interested in the form, the more rigid form in classical singing. It's beautiful, I love it, but it was also sometimes in the way. So I grew up with this. My mother told me that before I was 2 years old, I sang. I sang before I said one word, and I was singing in the bus and everywhere, and people were paying me money already when I was very little. So I think I had some, intuition about what the voice could do, and I loved it very much, and still do. And I love people's voices, and I'm sure that, I have experienced so many people without learning so much. But I think that the most beautiful voices are the people that are not trained. Because it's...
Oh, so you mean that it's what I would call more of what the organic voice rather than the technical voice. Is that correct?
Yes, more like that. More organic, yes, that's a good word.
And was your experience as an opera singer that there was a lot of people who were very skilled were more interested in technique than they were necessarily the content of what you're talking about?
Yes, I think so, more or less. Of course, it's a generalization, but it was what I experienced, yes. And also that I saw in my professional career a very, what can you call, a very big split in the personality on the stage and the personality outside. It was not, sometimes I thought it's not the same person, this one. And I didn't find it healthy. I didn't find it healthy. I mean, I was brought up also as a vegetarian and very, we always were eating very healthy food and living quite healthy, you know. So it didn't fit into what I thought was nice to me. So therefore, I also saw that if you are educating yourself very technical, yes, it's a chance that you are missing some important side of yourself. And
is that what led you? And then when did you go to? I know that you did some work in dance, and then from dance, did you get into studying therapy? What was the path?
Yes. Yeah, the path was that I started in fact, I started my career, all my best things in life, in fact, started with going away from things. It was going away from the opera. Then something new for me started, as if I was saying no to the outer world and yes to myself. So I was going away from the opera, and then I began to integrate my more body work, and I was freeing the voice from the more technical things I had learned. I was trying to, so to speak, unlearn. I was unlearning. And for some years, I went back to the opera, and because I missed it so much. I missed also the colleagues and the wonderful orchestra and singing on stage. And I went back, and then they said, "Oh, who was your teacher? We can hear that your voice it has grown a lot, and it has been so fantastic." And then I was wondering, oh, and this I had just done by myself, by listening to myself, unlearning these habits I had. And it was also because I was, a little soprano, high soprano, and I was about to sing all the small and beautiful girls. A Mozart soprano at most. And I had more other sides of myself. I would love to experience the more wild side. And by doing so for some years, training my body and freeing my voice in more unorthodox ways, I came back with a more a better voice, in fact, and everybody could hear it. So I went to and fro sometimes. Again, I got away from the opera because I stayed there some years again, and then something in me said, no, I have to go for this authentic voice, both in myself and also for others. So I began working with people around me, and I enjoyed it so much because I had so many people, various voices, everybody I know, my neighbor and everybody. It was not trained people, and they sang so beautifully. We did a lot of improvisation and body work and sounds, beautiful sounds, ugly sounds, full sounds and high sounds and everything. It was a full landscape, a symphony of sounds. And yes, I love that. So it's still my path. Okay, can you still hear me?
No, I can still hear you. I was just taking that all in because it's such a powerful background to how the direction that you went, because I wanted people to really know that you had spent a great deal of your life being a vocalist. So that's where you were coming from. And then how did you get from being an opera singer to being what I mean this in a positive way, possessed about really wanting to help people work with their own voice, and how do you do that?
And the first question, I think, is the same thing. If it's natural for you to give and to give out to people, you do that both as an opera singer, I think, and if you are helping people in other ways, it's giving from your heart what you really like to share. And yes, the other question was, sorry, once more.
Is leading to talking about your method. And when you work with people,
yeah.
What is your method? Yeah. How do you work with people?
Yeah. The other thing, when I jumped into that work, I didn't know the path. I didn't know from the start where it was going to lead me. But as I began to work deeper with people, it just came. It just, as you are following something, you can't slip it because it's so exciting. You're following this road, and I was asking and investigating with people. I was so curious to know how the emotions could be freed from the voice, and how their blockages and their pains, and how could we together release this using many facets and many exercises. And I went into that road, and sometimes I had the feeling that I had to get therapeutic education also. And I went on a little more, and then I decided that it's just going to happen. So I educated in 5 years education in Denmark for Gestalt therapists. And it was so wonderful, this kind of help I had from this education, because when I had these tools, I could go so much deeper with people, and I knew how to kind of collect them when they were out in the big emotions, great emotions with the sounds. I could calm them and pick them up again, and so on. Carry on. So it has been a very wonderful road, I think, I've been on until now, and am on.
And in the book, I got to review the book somewhat, but not enough. Do you have exercises in the book itself where people would be able to begin to have more of a comprehension of their own voice and begin to figure out how to alter, change, or release so their voice will be changing?
Yes, they can. People can learn from the book, and they can take step by step. And I will also say that reading a book about the voice, you need to hear the voice, and therefore I think that I'm going to do some online coaching. I just wait a little. I think the technical quality is not high enough yet, but I will give it a try to coach people online. If it was what you were asking about, I think so, because I couldn't hear you quite. There's a lot of noise. Can you hear me?
Okay, well, I'll actually re-ask a slightly different question. When you're working with somebody when you're working with someone in person,
yeah.
What are the things that you can hear in a voice?
When I work with different persons, I can hear the momentarily level, what they are coming with right now, what's happening right now. And it gives me an emotional level of how they are, and I can hear, for example, if they have some attacks in the voice. If they have a low voice, then it just goes down and a little flat here. Or it goes suddenly, oh, there's a lot of melody, there's a lot of dynamic, and then there's whoa. You can hear all those signs. You can have sighs, you can have a little whimpering in the voice, you can have a lot of signs, which I have described in the book under the types, the voice types. In my book, I have 20 voice types where I describe 20 different voice patterns. I believe we have unlimited patterns, but to make it easy to understand, I just listed up 20 types. And all these 20 types have some difference in the signs. So, for example, in the level of the voice, I'm speaking very high up in the voice. Or are you a little bit low down, of course, from here? Maybe you can speak here. Or in the middle, like I'm doing the most. You can hear it in the melody of the voice. Is it dynamic, as I said before? Is it just monotone? You're just speaking the same notes all the time like this, and you can maybe fall asleep when you hear this kind of voice, and so on. There's a lot of sounds. Many. Now there's a lot of noise here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
You're clear to us. You sound great. I'm listening on Blog Talk Radio, and you sound great. So I think this noise may be that you're hearing.
Can you hear Richard well enough to evaluate his voice?
No, I don't think yesterday I had another radio show and I was asked to say and I couldn't really hear her because I think you are more clear, Sherry. Your voice is, or the microphone is better. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the distance, I don't know, but I can hear you much better than Richard. Richard is like he talks inside something. I don't know what. But I would like to very much. I love very much to say something about people's voice right now in the present moment. So maybe you could, you could speak a little more, Richard, or come nearer the phone. I don't know, microphone.
I'll try and get a little closer, and I'll speak louder and see if that helps. That'll alter my voice slightly, but I talk into a microphone a lot, so I'm kind of used to doing it.
Yes, now I know. I've heard. Thank you. Yes, I think you have. Is it okay I say something about you? Not to.
Please feel free.
To offend you in any way. I will not offend you in any way. Just say that you are holding your tone a little bit down. I would like to hear you come up a little bit more, and also a variation of the voice a little bit. So you go a little bit up when you're talking, a little bit down again, and maybe not as you can try and exercise that. It's an up and down, because in some ways you're holding it. I feel it when I hear it. Do you recognize anything about that holding?
Well, it's also his radio voice.
It's the radio voice, yes, okay.
Richard, do you have a different voice when you're not on radio?
I think I do have a more modulated voice when I'm on radio. It's not an intention. I don't practice this. I don't do anything. It just sort of happens when I go on microphone, and I spend a great deal of time on microphone. So my voice is, I don't know what this is. It's truly, I would call it my radio voice, because in life, I'm more modulated.
Okay, because it's a little bit of monotone, a little bit. It's carrying something. It's just like I get that impression. Okay, but it was better now, I think. When you did it right now, it was better.
We have a couple of questions from our audience also. One, can you tell compatibilities with people by listening to their voice of the two people together? And then the other thing you might add with this is they want to know how to get in touch with you. Do you do private sessions?
I do really do individual and private sessions, yes. But it's long distance until now. It's long distance. I really plan to go to the USA and for a tour here in the spring. But people can Skype me. I can leave my Skype name and I can do some small sessions I will try over Skype. So I can leave my Skype name, which is my name, Lisbeth, Lisbeth dot Hultmann, Hultmann. That's my Skype name. And people are very, very welcome to Skype me, and we can book a time for individual. Okay?
Okay, we put that in both chats for people. Patty has a question. She wants to speak it live. I'm going to open her microphone. Unmute. Patty, you're on the air.
Hey, hi, everybody.
Okay.
Patty.
Yes.
You're on the air. Speak to us.
Can you hear me?
I'm talking from my switchboard, but there's no sound coming through. So would you chat your question since we can't hear you? Patty's going to chat her question.
Can you hear me now?
How long does a session take, and do you help people over stumbling blocks or compatibilities or life choices? What do you really include?
Yes, an individual session is about an hour. Sometimes I take a little more than an hour, but it is mainly 1 hour. And when you come into the session, it goes quite quickly. You can work with your blockages in the throat, for example, and if you have such ones, and then we combine it to what does that mean in your life. For example, if you have blockages in your throat, it's just taking your life away. It's just making a hindrance for you to express yourself freely. But how do you know that in your life? And you are kind of combining these things. Yes, and sorry, what was the question more?
It is about what kinds of things can you help people do? Find a job, is there something in their voice that tells you, okay, this is the right direction, this is the wrong direction? Can you tell when people are lying to you about what they're trying to say to you?
Well, in fact, when the voice is such as I said, a fingerprint, or I name it, it's your calling card. You can use it for so many things in life. People come also to me and they say, I want to have another job, or I have troubles with my fiance or something in my relationship, and we can work with the voice with all things, all kind of stuff, because it's a tool. It's a tool to reveal blockages and come deeper into yourself. Sometimes we don't know what's standing in our way. So I don't know if did I answer your question?
In a way, but I have two more follow-ups. One of the questions that your office gave to us was, can you hear if someone is lying to you? That would be very useful for a lot of people.
Yes, of course. And I can't give you a full recipe of that, I think. But I think it's very, very intense that you can hear when people are lying. And I think that we all think about in some ways. We all know when it's a lie. I also mean that you can learn so many things with your voice. You can learn a lot of tricks. You can learn to manipulate people. But I think only to a certain extension. It's not full. You can't lie all the time. So it is possible. And for example, when you are listening to a voice, when you hear, if you train yourself to listen very carefully, you can hear when the words are not being supported by the sound. And that can be in very many ways, but you can hear it.
Patty has typed her question in now. It says, I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, and I was wondering if this can be helped with vocal analysis. And another question that came in, does the problem come first and changes the voice, but does the voice change into a problem?
So the last question, I think, it goes both ways. It's very easy to answer. It goes both ways, so yes, both ways. And the other thing about anxiety and heart booming, or what you call it, it's some of the best ways to work both with the breath and the body and the voice. It's such a good way to work with them, and it goes very quickly. You can breathe down, make a deep breathing, and you can do screaming, you can do sounds, you can like throwing your voice. You can try and hit with it like your voice is a ball, and you take the ball and hitting in your room. Just get the voice out, breathing deep and get the voice out, and setting your body in sound.
Would you mind?
It's very effective. Yes, I could. What?
Would you mind if people had your email address so that they could do online sessions with you that way too?
That's all right. That's okay. I can do it right now. It's my mail address is info, INFO, and what we call the little round A. Yes.
At?
And then it's STEMMEAL .ek.
Okay, let me repeat that. STEMMENSPEALA.
No, PA, not PA, PA.
LADS?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure I get it.
Yes.
I'm going to put it in the chat for everyone.
Okay.
There, so they all have your email address. We have a very seeking audience, so expect lots of emails.
Oh, that's wonderful. I would like that. Love that. Thank you very much, Sherry. Okay.
Are there exercises in your book? Is this a self-help book, or is this for professionals who want to do this training with others, or what's your audience for this?
It's everybody. It's not only the professional leadership. It's for everybody. It's very easy to read. It's very, very, very easy. So it's for everybody. And you can do it. It is a kind of self-help book. So you can try and take step by step, and using the exercises. They are very simple and easy to find out. And for this question with, I don't know, is the person with anxiety?
Yes, that's Patty. She wrote her question in.
There's a very good exercise when you lie down, also when you go to sleep. It's called the deep breath in the book. When you're lying down and your knees are bent and you have real good contact to your belly breathing deep into your belly. And that exercise is also helpful. But this is one of the easiest way or feelings, emotions you can get rid of is anxiety with the voice. It's so simple and so effective. So I hope you will enjoy it. Okay.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. This has been incredible and wonderful. We'd like to invite people to join us for happy hour, in which we are going to be doing voice analysis as it pertains to BioDiet. That's on Tuesday from 6 to 7 Eastern Time. We have a comment. I bought the last book on Amazon. Oh, Melinda is saying she just bought your last book. Kindle is available, but everybody else is out of luck, unless they go to Barnes & Noble or something like that. So Amazon will be asking you to replenish because our people just scarfed up the last of the books. Richard, do you have any closing thoughts since we're out of time?
We're out of time. I'm always stunned that it went so fast. Once we got together, it went so quickly. That was really wonderful, Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
Thank you also very much, both of you. And thank you to being your guest on this fabulous show. And I think also that your work is very exciting. I don't know so much about it, but bioacoustic, wow, it sounds very, very beautiful and very exciting for me.
Well,
So,
it computerizes the voice, what you do naturally with your ears, it computerizes the voice and gives you printouts.
fantastic. I would like to hear a bit more of that, really, because I know also that the police are doing something like it, or they want to do something like it, to better to see if people are the people they say they are and so on, investigate.
Yes, we are working with the Department of Defense on that.
Really? Wow. Really?
So we need to know more about each other.
Yes, we could do that. Yes, certainly. So, if you, can I have your email, Sherry?
Just my name, Sherry Edwards, Sharry, Edwards,
Yes.
at Gmail. And I'm going to write to you as soon as we get off the air.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
For those of you, last week we did vocal profiling live, and we did 6 different people and their weight issues. Oprah, Chris Christie, the New Jersey governor. We did the soprano guy, whose name I totally forgot, Gandolfini. We did Kirstie Alley, Rebel, can't remember her last name. She's in the new TV show Perfect Pitch, and Ruben Stannard, who is on The Biggest Loser show. So if you want to see those profiles, they are on our site under information. So you can also tune in to Blog Talk Radio and just look at last week's show, and you can see how the computer looks at their biochemistry. And each of them had different reasons and combined reasons for their weight issues that conventional medicine wasn't addressing. So we will be doing those for people individually on Tuesday evening. So if you have a weight issue that you just haven't been able to shake, okay, somebody is, Rebel Wilson, okay. You can go back and watch it or listen to it on Blog Talk Radio and watch it on our site, thesoundhealthoptions.com. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Richard. It was.
Thank you. Once that came together, that was really fun. Thank you, Elizabeth, if you're still there, and thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I really, not only just weight loss issues on Tuesday, just any kind of nutritional diet, and I don't mean weight loss when I say diet, thing on Tuesday. Happy hour is always jam-packed and fun-filled. So Tuesday afternoon, depending upon your time zone.
And we'll talk to you later.
Everybody have a very great rest of the weekend. And Elizabeth, have a fabulous evening. We'll all talk soon. Thanks.
Bye now.